Hello, it's Burgess Taylor, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the next part of my outline using the hero's journey and tarot. Um, I guess I didn't realize that this was going to be as in-depth as it is, and it is really in-depth, and I like it. I'm not a real big outliner. I mean, if you've seen any of my videos before, and starting with last year, when I started the prep videos in October for NaNoWriMo, my first videos, um, I was pretty much a pantser. I tried outlining, I tried pantsing, I tried outlining. I was trying to find my way with all of it. The last time I wrote anything like that, I spent a hiatus of about 10 or 15 years away from writing. I wrote poetry, but I didn't write any short stories or anything. A few times I dabbled here and there, and I'd write a few chapters, and then I was like, well, I can't do this. I don't know why I'm bothering. And the self-doubt ate at me. So I would put it away again. Well, when I was writing back in the day, I didn't need an outline. I pretty much pantsed, and that was that. I would have a sheet of notebook paper or a notepad. I would write down my ideas, brainstorming, beginning, middle, end. I'd write down some important parts that I thought were relevant, and that was it. That was the extent of what I consider to be outlining, which was actually more of or less brainstorming, summarizing. So this is very new to me, enjoying the outline process. So I am on the next step, which is crossing the threshold. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the threshold. I'm going to talk about what Arwen states, and she's using Vogler's and Campbell's books about the hero's journey. So she says that the crossing the threshold is the no turning back card. It's the spot where the hero will cross from his ordinary world into the special world. This is a whole new world. So the hero's motivation, the conflicts, and or probably both, may change. It's a good place to demonstrate a flaw that the hero might have. It's also the moment of shadow. She talks about the shadow villain or internal shadow self, that it's triggered and or released when the hero crosses the threshold. The enemy now knows the hero isn't going back. And I think the hero also knows there's no turning back. Once the hero is committed, the mentor has helped the hero commit, there's really no turning back. The threshold guardian is who challenges the hero, and the hero has to prove himself worthy of the journey. And this is the first threshold to be crossed. So now we're going to talk about the cards. Now, the first card, which is actually the crossing the threshold card that I drew, is the wheel. Now, on this card, I saw a lot of what I consider to be guardians. When I originally thought of the wheel, I was thinking of like the wheel of life, or like the cycle of life. Now, the card, the wheel, is actually a destiny card. It's being at the right place at the right time. It has to do with change, consequence. The other two cards I drew were the Queen of Wands and Temperance. I know what I thought about the Queen of Wands was just right in my face. I knew exactly what that meant. The Temperance card, however, I've written down some stuff, but I'm still thinking about that card, because that card I'm just having a little bit of a hard time getting a grip on what it means for crossing the threshold. So we're going to talk about what I got from it. Hopefully, we'll see. The Queen of Wands is a card that when I look at, see the cat? Who doesn't associate a cat with a witch? I do. I mean, we've got Sabrina the Teenage Witch. We've got Charmed. There's all kinds of other movies and television shows and stuff where there's a cat, the witch is familiar. Now, she's holding a staff. She's a flower in one hand. She's a crown. She looks very regal. She looks in charge. She also looks calm and at peace. So, in reference to my card, though, the Queen of Wands is acceptance, career, stability, calm, security, or a decision made, or the acceptance of a situation. To me, that card was her witchiness. What is your hero's threshold that must be crossed? And there were questions that were to be answered, and so I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna reveal everything that her questions and what she goes through, because this e-course is fabulous and you really should get it if you are interested at all in trying the hero's journey, outlining, and tarot. There's still plenty of time between now and NaNoWriMo to really get going with this. So, and I realized while I was doing some work and between last night's dream, speaking of me and Maya talking about characters and do you hear them? Do they talk to you? Do you dream about them? My character came to me. She's like, look, excuse me, hello, I know you're the writer and all this, but pretty much she told me that it didn't matter that I was the writer. She's the character and her name is not Irish, it's Crimson. I don't know where that came from. I think, I'm not even sure that that's it, but it keeps coming to me and she keeps telling me. So we're going to see. And when I hear that word, I automatically think about Joan Jett's song, Crimson and Clover. So anyway, so it's the moment of crossing the threshold shown by the card of the wheel. She has been fighting her destiny the whole time, pretty much her whole life, since her parents' death, but then especially since her grandfather's death. And now with her grandmother's death, because she's learned now, at this point, that it wasn't a witch hunter who killed her grandmother, it was a witch from her grandmother's very own coven. But she also learns that the witch is in league with the witch hunters. And the witch is trying to take over the coven. Nobody else really knows, but at this point in the novel, the grandmother has came to see her, and she's told her who it is. They can't find who it is, but the grandmother's spirit has come to her and talked to her and told her. So she's been fighting her destiny, but with the help of the mentor and her grandmother visiting her, and her own sense of justice and courage, she's got to embrace her destiny fully, and she knows this. And if she embraces her destiny fully, this is her. Not only is she going to embrace her witchiness, but she's going to end up the head of the coven. She's the one she has all this power. It's hereditary power. The coven is pretty much a family, hereditary kind of thing. She will be in training head of the coven, head priestess, but her mentor is doing that, training her, teaching her. So she's going to embrace her destiny fully, and she's going to become head of the coven, and that's shown by the Queen of Wands. The price that she has to pay for crossing the threshold is twofold to me. She'll have to balance the two worlds, which is where temperance comes in. And if you look on there, well, the card says balance, but she's got 2 cups in her hand, and she's pouring water back and forth between the two of them. Between the mundane world and the magical world alike, and her grandmother did this very well. Her grandmother was a pillar of the community in the town and a pillar of the community in the witchy world. She has to embrace fully her witchy side, something that she's vowed she'd never do, but she has to. Not only does she finally realize that she's been a witch all along, It doesn't matter whether she pretends she's not or not. She is. She realizes the help that with the mentor's help that she's just been ignoring her witchy self. That she, she never stopped being a witch. She's got to be true to herself. She's got to accept her destiny, and that's what a lot of these cards right here, the call to adventure, the refusal, and this all have to do with her and her destiny. Once she embraces her destiny, her witchy self, there's no going back. If she loses, then not only will things get worse in both worlds, but the balance of the worlds is at stake. The witch hunters are now in league with a witch. What in the hell, I think it's not the witch hunters plural, though. I think there is a witch hunter, but you have to read the novel for that. So, but if she loses those she loves and cares about in both worlds, as well as herself. I mean, maybe she's going to die. Maybe somebody she loves is going to die. Somebody's going to die. We just have to see who. We don't know yet. I'm writing. Maybe I know, but I can't tell you yet. You'll have to stay tuned, and you'll have to, read my book. But, hopefully, I probably won't get it finished at NaNoWriMo, but 50,000 plus, which is usually my goal. I try to aim for 55, and I extend my word count. Usually Monday through Friday, I try to write 2,000 words a day, so that on Saturday and Sunday, I can write 500 to 1,000. It's not such a big deal. I don't have to write a tremendous amount on the weekends, because that's usually the only time that, I have family time, really. So, I tend to write in the mornings, give me some coffee, and then I'll write for a couple of hours, and then I'm done for the day, and then I go do all the family stuff. So, hopefully, by the end of NaNoWriMo, I'll have 55,000 plus. Usually, that's my goal. And that's a little bit over halfway through the novel, because I'm aiming for 100,000 words total. And I just found out, thanks to my friends, #WriteStuff, #WriteTube, that I didn't even know. NaNoWriMo. There's a NaNoWriMo editing month. It's in March, guys. I don't know. I knew there was an editing month, but I was just thinking that December was kind of the unofficial editing month. You take a break for a couple of days or whatever, NaNoWriMo is over, you edit in December. Or maybe you keep writing in December and then you edit in January. But it makes sense now. If you continue writing in December, then you can, maybe January, whatever, you have a little bit of a break, and then you edit in March. March is not good for me for editing, though. Camp NaNoWriMo's in April. Camp NaNoWriMo's in July. Usually in March, I'm planning for Camp NaNoWriMo. I'm doing preparations. Just like in June, I'm doing preparations. So I have NaNoWriMo in November. Prep is in October. Camp NaNoWriMo in July. Prep is in June. And of course, like I just said, if I'm doing camp in April, then of course prep is in March. So how would I do the editing for March? I don't know. But maybe, just maybe, that might work for me this time. Maybe I can get my novel written before March, and then when March comes, I can edit my novel, so that by the time April rolls around, I'll be doing some rewrites. That would be wonderful. That would be so wonderful. So that's it for me, guys. I've taken up enough of your time. I will get back with you with another video soon about outlining, or a journal prompt for outlining, or some more tips. I have a video to make. Actually, I might go ahead and do that, about some things to help you win NaNoWriMo before you even start. Some really good tips to keep you with your foot in the door, to get you really going. So I will talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.